Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. The other day, I was scrolling through Twitter, as I do. I'm realizing how many of my videos start with this, but you know, this is just how it is. I spend half my life on Twitter, so half of my ideas also come from Twitter. Anyway, while I was scrolling on Twitter, I came across this video that was quote retweeted of a man named Tyler Fisher mocking Dylan Mulvaney, because everyone seems to be mocking Dylan Mulvaney at the moment, and it is ridiculous and annoying and angering. But I saw this video come up once, and then I saw it again, and then again, and then again. And so I decided that I was going to look into this person. I was going to go to Tyler Fisher's TikTok and see what else he made, and we were going to talk about it. And boy, oh boy, I have never made a worse decision in my life. Genuinely, I have so many regrets. I really wish I didn't go through his TikTok account. I had the worst time. I hated it. I couldn't even watch all of these. I couldn't watch some of them all the way through. You see the stuff that I watch and I talk about and I share with you. Some of them were too much. I genuinely, legitimately could not finish some of his TikToks. So this is your warning right now that some of the stuff he makes is just some of the worst stuff. To sort of describe it without even having to show you, and so you know how bad and uncomfortable it is to watch. The best way to describe it is 2010 Shane Dawson, Shanae. That is the type of content that he makes. So I'm sure you understand the problem. Yeah, we're going to be looking at some of his TikToks and talking about them because I like to torture myself and torture you with me. I hope you're ready for it. Before we do get into it though, I would like to say thank you to today's patron of the day, Dragon Sorceress of Awesomeness. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and anything helps, and I appreciate you hugely. Let's get into I don't want to. I really don't want to. To start with, I guess I'll show you the video that blew up on Twitter. I am sure that a lot of you have already seen it, but in case you haven't, or in case you need a refresher, here it is.
Man teaches women how to do makeup.
Of Girlhood, and I got my girl guns out. You bitches have been begging me for a makeup tutorial since I'm now an expert in all things girly. Okay, I got all this great stuff. I don't know what this is. Looks like a little dog wee-wee. Rough. I think it goes on the lips. And get it nice and good. Just get it all over that face vagina. Okay, let's get the little pink eye here. I think this is for the eyebrows. Oh, whoopsie. And we need to stop normalizing where the makeup goes. That's obviously some male patriarchal crap where they're forcing women. Oh, you have to put it here. No, girl. Get that dog pee-pee up here. A little under the eye. Time for the lashes. Uno. Dos, bitches. Okay, and since girls go bald too, you can just fill in your little girl bald area. This is so easy. Okay, next, let's powder, bitches. Is this a butt plug? How did this get in here? Ooh, ay, ay, ay. Okay, I got these cool little makeup applicators, so you can just kind of decide how big you want the brush, and you can kind of fan it out, right? Dip it in that powder, baby. I like to do something a little brown. I'm not really into the white Karen look right now, so I like to do a little Latinx and represent my Latinx girls. Pinch, 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 and done. Oh my God, I look so beautiful. I gotta go. I have a first Tinder date. I'm using a guy to get a free dinner. I love Girlhood. Yeah.
So I'm sure you all understand what I meant by Shane Dawson humor, because that's more Shane Dawson than Shane Dawson. Honestly, I thought that we left this behind. I thought that this humor died in 2010. Can we leave it there? It is not funny. It's never been funny. The only people I thought who ever found it funny were 11-year-olds. So yikes, already, straight off the bat, yikes. Nothing about this is amusing. Nothing about it is funny at all. It's this thing of all these people who do this and who mock Dylan, especially to like this degree, the thing he's trying to do or pretending that he's doing is like calling out Dylan for making a mockery out of being a woman. And it's like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing? What you are doing right now is making fun of women. That's all you're doing. You're laughing at women. You're making fun of women. You are mocking women right now because this is how you view women. Because you're saying Dylan does all this over the top, like stereotypical woman stuff and is just mocking women. Dylan doesn't do that. Dylan is existing as a person. Dylan is just being a woman and figuring herself out. You are projecting. This is how you view women, and this is what you think being a woman looks like. So you are mocking women. Men who do this are men who want to express feminine parts of themselves. They want to do makeup and do all these things that are feminine, but the only way they will allow themselves to do that is through making fun of it. And so that's what he's doing, is that he wants to wear makeup. He desires to be in touch with this feminine part of himself, but he's so insecure within his masculinity and so insecure within himself and society and the box that he puts himself in that the only way he will allow himself to do that is through bits like this. And I just think it's funny because like either you had all of this stuff lying around in your house already, or you went out and spent a bunch of money on makeup so you could sit here and do this stupid, ridiculous little skit in front of the camera for nothing, for no reason other than the fact you wanted to sit in front of a camera and do your makeup and then make inappropriate and gross jokes about like sexualizing dogs. So I hope that there was a moment where he looked in the mirror and he just felt nothing. Like, I hope he feels empty, you know? Like, I hope that he looked himself in the mirror when he was taking that makeup off and he just felt empty. And obviously that was his parody of day 5 of Girlhood. So we all know what that means. It means he has 4 more of these. Because we love torturing ourselves, I'm going to show you day 1 of Girlhood, his first parody he did of this. And I'm going to start with a warning again. This is not, it's not a good video. I hate it. It makes me uncomfortable. It's awful. It's not funny. It's some of the worst content I've seen in making these videos. And like, next one is like even more Shane Dawson-y. It's hard to watch. So if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. You can skip over it and just skip to me talking about it because I don't want to watch it again. I'm going to. I don't want to. You can save yourself the pain. Double tap that screen a couple times. For those of you who like to torture yourselves also, here we go.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I was just doing girl stuff because it's day 1 of Girlhood. I'm so excited to be a girl. My name is Taylor. It used to be Tyler, but I killed that patriarchal man and I'm now a girl. So I'm going to do the most stereotypical girl stuff, which is so offensive to women, but not anymore, because when a guy does it, it's not a problem. So I'm just going to do girl stuff. I don't know, maybe one day I'll interview the president of the United States and get him to say on live TV that kids should be able to cut their genitals off without any question. Oh my god! Oh, Girlhood! So anyways, today, oh my god, I walked around and people were like staring at me. And I was like, why is everyone staring at me? Then I realized my massive boner was hanging out of my little shorts. And I was like, well, maybe stop getting weird and maybe start normalizing the fact that women have beards, big dicks, and balls. It's fun being a girl. So day 1, what did I do? Oh yeah, I ate 40 muffins and then I pooped. No, I didn't. Girls don't poop. And then I gaslit my boyfriend because that's what girls do. I'm cheating on him, but I was like, you're cheating on me. And then he got so crazy, he killed himself. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm going to meet my neighbor.
Like, tell me where the funny was meant to be. Tell me where the funny was meant to be. Is the joke meant to be that you're hypersexualizing and slut-shaming women? Is that the joke? Because, like, that's not funny. You're out here saying that Dylan is mocking women and womanhood and girlhood by effectively just slut shaming all women, because Dylan has never done anything remotely sexual in nature, like ever. None of her content is ever sexual. There is no need for you to hypersexualize this situation. There is no need for you to like sexualize Dylan and women in general. And then you're saying just a bunch of shit that's just like not even true at all, because you don't actually know anything. You don't care to know anything. You just want an excuse to make fun of women. That's all you want. You just want an excuse to make fun of women. So you don't listen to what Dylan says. You don't listen to the issues. You don't give a fuck. You don't care about kids. You don't care about women. You don't care about anyone other than yourself. You just want to bully women and to bully trans people. And you just want to continue this cycle of hatred because you think it's funny to make fun of people. And you think it's funny to sexualize women. People make a big deal about that one video of Dylan talking about how women have bulges too and it shouldn't matter. And I don't know why people care so much, right? Like, it shouldn't matter, their bodies. People have such this overly sexual view of bodies in general. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing fucking matters. They're bodies. Bodies aren't sexual. It doesn't matter what genitals you have. None of that fucking matters. Our bodies aren't sexual. They are just vessels that we exist in. Our bodies are only ever sexual in sexual situations. And just going to the shop wearing shorts is not a sexual situation. And it should never be viewed as that. And it shouldn't fucking matter. Women can have bulges. Men can have boobs. Like, get over it. There's nothing sexual about that at all. It is only sexual when you put sexual context to it. And they're not doing that. Dylan isn't doing that. No one is fucking doing that except for you. You are making everything sexual because you view women in a sexual way. You don't like when women have bulges because it means that you can't have your weird little sexual fantasy about them and their bodies. You view women in a sexual way, and so when they don't fit to how you wish to view them in such sexual light, you get upset. You're the one doing the sexualizing here, no one else. This is a you problem, and you need to get over it. I don't understand why all these conservatives are so obsessed with Dylan. It's this thing of like, I guess it's because Dylan is so wildly popular, right? Like, a lot of people love her content, a lot of people support her. She is thriving and succeeding and doing so well by being her authentic self and just existing as herself and not letting society confine her and control her. And that scares them, you know, that like scares these conservatives. They hate the fact that someone can be happy and successful while leaving the boundaries that they have been put in, because these men, these toughs, these conservatives have spent their entire lives keeping themselves in a box, and they've never wanted to step outside that because they want to be accepted by society. So even if they have wanted to do anything outside of those confines, they've had to stop themselves from doing that, because if they step outside that, they won't be accepted by society. And so they have spent their whole lives making themselves miserable because they want to be accepted and they want to be valued. And so when they see someone who hasn't done that and who has allowed themselves to step outside boundaries and is happy and succeeding and being accepted by society, they're jealous. They're angry because they're miserable and they hate that other people can be happy. They think everyone should be confined to these boxes because they've had to confine themselves to it. And they think that that's how society will function best, if we're all in boxes and we're all the same. Like, no, I'm sorry that you spent your whole life making yourself miserable. Don't spend the rest of your life trying to make everyone else miserable too. Let yourself live a little. Let yourself break some rules. Let yourself exist outside of the confines of a make-believe box that you think makes you valuable. We are all different. We are all valid, and we are all valuable in our own ways. Let people be happy. Let yourself be happy. Stop trying to take joy away from other people. It's got nothing to do with you. Just live your life however you want to live it and let other people live their lives too. I just don't understand how, Tyler can sit here and be making these videos and then think that Dylan is the issue and not him. Like, look yourself in the mirror, watch your content back and ask why Dylan is the problem and how you are helping the situation. How do you think you aren't the problem here? Look at yourself for just 1 minute. As we know, there are 5 of these Days of Girlhood sketches. I tried watching another one of them and I couldn't get through it. I genuinely could not watch all the way through. So I absolutely cannot put it in this video. I don't want to subject myself to that again. I don't want to subject you to that again. And I can't watch it. I'm gonna move on from it. Because he also does stand-up comedy. He is a stand-up comedian. Yeah, he's not good at it, because obviously he's not very fucking funny. But I thought I'd show you a couple things that he said at some of his stand-up routines. So he's got, like, this one.
That's TikTok joke.
I just think it's a fucking shame, because TikTok would have been such a great name for a dating app for women in their late 30s. That's a time release joke. That was like doing the wave. That hit you guys one row at a time. Oh.
No, it's just, bro. Like, it's so sad. It's not funny even a little bit. I'm just like sad. I have questions about this type of humor and this joke in particular, right? Of like, why is it always women in their late 30s? What about men in their late 30s? And I know it's like fertility and women aren't fertile anymore in their late 30s, which isn't even true. Women are less fertile in their late 30s, but they're still fertile. My mom had me when she was 37 and my sister when she was 40. My friend's mom had her second kid when she was 46. Like, it's not rare to have children in your late 30s, early to mid 40s. Like, that's a very common thing to occur. Most of my friends' parents are about the same age as mine when they had their kids in their like late 30s. But like, that aside, who do you think is using this app with the women? It's a dating app called TikTok for women in their late 30s. Is it for lesbian women in their late 30s? In which case the fertility issue doesn't even come into it. Like, the men would also be using the app called TikTok. This joke doesn't make sense. It's the same thing as like, women aren't allowed to have sex, but men should have sex with as many women as they can. It's like, who are they having sex with then? Each other? Are they gay? Is that the point? Because you're usually homophobic. It's like, they just don't see two sides. They just see one thing. And then it applies to like one gender. And it doesn't make sense. And it's a bad joke. Even if it wasn't logically flawed, unfunny. Another joke from his stand-up is this one.
Well, white people are in trouble right now, dude. I gotta come to a basement where your cell phones are locked to be able to say what I want. Everything's racist now. I'm afraid to say anything. Like, I was on a date the other day. This girl goes, "Can you order me a Negroni?" I was like, I can't fucking say that. What are you, insane? Jesus Christ. It's Black History Month. Are you insane? I don't say any words that begin with the letter N. Not in February, okay? That's how I give back to the community.
It's not hard to not be racist. Just be a normal person who is respectful, and don't make fun of people of color, and don't make fun of Black History Month, and don't make fun of oppression and racism and pretend that it doesn't exist, because it's not funny. No one is sitting here waiting for you to say the N-word and waiting for you to slip up and listening super closely to everything that you're saying. Like, that's not happening. If you are the type of person who people are cautious of being racist, it's because you have a racist history and because you are probably a racist person who does racist things. So people are going to jump on you more because it's not out of character. And it seems like you are the type of person to say and do racist things. This is the thing of these people are always like, women aren't funny. Liberals aren't funny. People on the left, they aren't funny. It's like, I'm glad you don't think I'm funny. If this type of humor, if all of the stuff we've watched so far, if this is what you think is funny, I am so glad you don't think I'm funny. I'm so glad you don't think I'm funny because nothing you have said or done has been even a little bit humorous. So if you thought I was funny, I would be insulted because you are one of the least funny people I've seen. And yet comedy is your job? You can't say shit about humor. Humor is subjective. I'm like, yeah, but objectively, none of this is fucking funny because all it's doing is insulting people. Most of his stand-up is kind of like this. It's all very tasteless and boring and not funny. So there's not even very much I can say about a lot of it. I just wanted to include it to show you that he does stand-up and he does really bad stand-up. But like most of the TikToks aren't even like jokes, or I think they're meant to be. But like, I don't even really know what to say about half of them because they're just like nothing. I'll go back and show you just a couple more of his other TikToks that are skits, just not the Girlhood skits, because as I said, I can't watch any more of those and I don't want to subject you to any more of those, and I don't want to subject Dylan to any more of those. Not that Dylan watches my videos, but you know what I mean? I don't want them to, like, I can't imagine how hard it must be for her right now, and I don't want to contribute to that any more than I have already in this video. So we're gonna move on and watch a couple of his other skits, like this one.
Hey guys, I just got my 79th booster shot, so I'm a little out of it. I'm just relaxing, but fortunately I don't have to work tomorrow because I haven't had a job in 16 years. So I'm just hanging out here in quarantine camp. I was arrested and thrown in here last week for sneezing near a baby who has a 0.000034 chance of getting COVID. So we're just locked down in the new Tock variant, but it is good to finally see a diverse variant, right? Finally some black representation in these variants. But anyways, Lord Fauci says we'll be out of this in the next 30 years if we just stay strong. So let's recite the COVID prayer. Do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing.
An absurd amount of these are about COVID and vaccines, especially. Like, so many. Like, every third video is about COVID and vaccines. And I've noticed that a lot with a lot of conservatives still, is that half of the shit they say is still about COVID and vaccines and masks and stuff. And like, obviously COVID is still a thing. It still exists. It's still a big deal. It's still a problem. We should all be vaccinated and like wearing masks if and when we can. But it's not that much of a hot topic anymore. Like, they talk about vaccines 1,000 times more than any liberal or leftist talks about fucking vaccines. They talk about them non-stop.
Hey, so I just want to be upfront because I really like you. I have herpes and AIDS and syphilis and polio and a touch of the swine flu. I'm also a registered sex offender. I have a severe drug and alcohol addiction, and I just got out of prison for attempting to murder 1,000 puppies.
Okay. But are you vaccinated?
No, I don't think I'm gonna get it.
Okay, that's a deal breaker. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I cannot tell you the last time I talked about vaccines, because I got vaccinated 2 fucking years ago and I got my second booster like 6 months ago. Like, I'm not talking about it anymore. Like, I'm not going around and asking random people if they're vaccinated. I'm not asking all of my friends if they're vaccinated. I'm not asking anyone I meet up with if they're vaccinated. I assume that the people I want to spend time with and the people that I like are vaccinated. And if you're a new person and I get to know you, you are most likely going to have other red flags before I find out that you've been vaccinated or not, right? I have no interest in hanging out with you if you're anti-vax, and that oftentimes comes with other things I dislike, like transphobia, homophobia, conservatism, misogyny, etc. Like, a lot of things come with that typically, and they're not the type of people I want to be around. It's not one of the first things I ask. It's not a massive part of the conversation. It's something that I care about, and it's something that I think is important, but I'm not going out of my way asking every single person I know and meet if they're vaccinated. And like I said, he has a lot of these skits about COVID and vaccines, and like many conservatives, he likes to take the my body, my choice thing and use it like this.
Yeah, hi. This is just a little message to all you far-right extreme racists who think you could tell me what to do with my body. It's my body, my choice. You think you have control over my body? I am a menstruating person, a person of menstruation. You have no right to tell me what to do with my body. If I want to have a baby, I have a baby. If I want to throw it in the dumpster and light it on fire, that's my choice. I couldn't imagine telling somebody what to do with their body. Like, during the pandemic, I had friends that were like, I don't want to get the vaccine. It's not right for me. And I was like, okay, get it. You have to, because it's your body, my choice. It's your and now it's my... Sorry. During the pandemic, you could tell people that what to do with their body because that was your choice, but now it's not my... Men are women too. Damn it.
And it's so funny because, like, they really do like to overlook the point of, like, it is not your body or choice in this situation because it's not just you who is affected. I'm sorry that you can't see outside of that. But, like, yes, I am vaccinated, but I don't care about you being vaccinated for me, myself, personally. I care about you being vaccinated because I care about other people. And you not being vaccinated can help spread COVID to vulnerable people and vulnerable communities. It's not going to impact me, but it will impact other people. And I care about other people. And this whole thing of, like, all of these people saying that, like, COVID doesn't even affect young people. Why are you worried? Blah, blah, blah. Like, my sister is 19. She is very fit, very healthy. And she got COVID back in January. And then after she thought she'd recovered, she ended up having to go to hospital because she had a heart, something. I can't remember the name. And she had to go into hospital and they had to effectively, like, restart her heart and then keep her there for a day before she was discharged and having to take heart medication. And then a couple weeks back, she had to have an operation on her heart because of COVID. This happened because of COVID. And this is an effect that is being increasingly more seen. It has not been seen in teenagers and young people. It is very, very, very rare for it to happen in teenagers and in young people. But my sister, 19, fit and healthy, and it happened to her. Just because it's rare doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And it's also happening more. More and more people are seeing things being tied together. This heart episode was triggered by COVID. And my sister is vaccinated, right? Which meant that when she had COVID itself, the COVID didn't impact her that badly. Like, she had it pretty bad, but she was, like, mostly okay during COVID, which is what triggered this to happen. However, if more people are vaccinated, then it is less likely to spread further. Less people are going to get it. It decreases the chance in getting it. It decreases the risks associated with it. It makes it easier to get through and it makes your symptoms lesser. The point is, COVID is a big deal. It is happening. It is hurting people. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. It can hit you and it can harm you really badly. So you should be doing what you can to prevent spreading it to others, even if you don't care if you get it yourself. I am going to finish with one final TikTok. I know I just said that I didn't want to watch any more Days of Girlhood parodies, but there is one more actually that I do want to share. And I'm going to show you because it's not so much making fun of Dylan, but more just like being the most obnoxious, unaware person I've ever seen. And that's this.
Oh, hi guys, it's me, Taylor. I'm here in Washington, D.C. It's day 3 of Girlhood, and I'm going to be the president of the United States because I've been a girl for 3 days, so I know more than anybody what girls need and what they want. Ready to see what I'm gonna wear? I look like a slutty girl boss. I wonder if he's gonna try to sniff my girl hair or my girl beard. Oh, let's go meet him.
Hi there. I'm looking for the White House.
You want to get to the White House?
Yeah. Black Lives Matter. Look at the diversity here. Love it. Look at this statue. It's a girl penis. Girls have the biggest dicks. Look at all these girls camping out, waiting to talk to Joey about Girlhood.
Oh my God.
How do we get in? Joe, it's Taylor. I'm here for my 3 o'clock. The Secret Service. Guys, I'm here.
Hey guys, it's my 3rd day of being a girl.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be meeting the president.
I'm not sure. Do you have an appointment?
I don't have an appointment, but I just figured since now I'm a girl, I could tell him about what it's like to be a girl and...
I mean, those things are possible.
Okay.
But he's not in.
All right. Anything's possible when you're a girl, because it's day 3, and I just wanted to let him know, like, how kids can remove their private parts and become a girl and express themselves. So, all right, I'll check the website. Thank you. That's good news. Okay. Day 3 is so crazy, dude.
How you can have no shame. How are you not embarrassed? I cannot even fathom being confident enough to be such an asshole and so arrogant in a public space. Like, how are you doing that? That's like actually impressive. Like, I have social anxiety, right? I don't talk to people. I don't talk to people in public. I try to make myself as small and as quiet as possible when I'm in public. So I can't even imagine like being like at a normal volume of like loud and interacting with people in public. But being like this, beyond comprehension to me. How are you not embarrassed? How are you sitting here and thinking that other people are the problem? How are you sitting here and thinking that you are in the right? How do you think that you are not the problem? How can you be this obnoxious and this selfish and this unaware of your surroundings and the people around you? Like, you show time and time over that you do not give a single fuck about anyone else. And yet your comedy is you trying to show that you care about people. Like, you've never once shown a single ounce of understanding or compassion or empathy or care or anything other than you will do anything to get laughs. And even then, no one is laughing with you. Everyone is laughing at you. I hope that you sit down. I hope you look yourself in the eye and you think about what the problem is and what you are doing. I hope you sit in a dark room and just like are forced to be with your thoughts and question your entire life and everything you do. And I hope that you can find a single ounce of compassion somewhere in your soul. Somewhere. I'm going to end this video here because I don't want to do it anymore. So we're stopping. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Feel free to go bleach your eyes. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Toulouse, Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Kai, Jessica, Eldo, Ida, Quia Corey, Raven, Danielle, Elias, Evie, Nyx of the Eternal Night, JD Creeper, Rin, and Julie. I love and appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.